Work some stuff on present values and future values. Okay. By the way, if you look at this quiz, everybody got it by now, I hope? If you look at this quiz, there's some stuff on doing recording liabilities, notes, which you've done before, notes payable and interest. There's a little bit on payroll in this particular quiz. Is anything in the chapter fair game? Everybody knows that, right? Okay, so good. In the review session today, we'll mess with anything you want to. But let's take a look at problem number 8, for instance. Okay, take a look at that on your quiz that you've got in front of you, I hope, or if somebody sitting there around you has one, and I'll read it to you, I guess, too. So using the present values in your text, and you don't have to use the present values in your text, you can use your calculator. Everybody hear that? You can use your calculator. Warning on using your calculator. If you do not know how to use it, do not use it. What happens if you input garbage into a computer, which is all your calculator is? What comes out? Garbage. And I'll get ridiculous answers from you. And then some of you will say, well, yeah, I just put in the wrong number. I knew what I was doing. And no, you don't. You got an answer that's ridiculous. You don't know what you're doing, right? The tables are primitive, okay? But they're safer, right? When you're first learning this stuff, I think. They're kind of safer. You can't screw it up as much, okay? The problem with the calculator is what? You just push buttons, and then out comes an answer. You don't really feel like you're doing anything. That's great, you know? I like it. I'd always use a calculator. Actually, I wouldn't even use a calculator. I'd use Excel if I were doing these calculators. Why would anybody do them by hand? And I'm not suggesting you do them by hand. Even if the table is not by hand, it's just so you can see what's happening. Okay? So you're welcome. And by the way, if you don't have a calculator, it's not a real disadvantage. You don't have a calculator, won't calculate present values and future values. Big deal. It doesn't matter. Most of you do, though, for your math class. There's a financial function. You got a math class with the statistics. There's a financial function, too. And if you get out your directions, they're all a little bit different. You have your directions, you can figure out how to do it. It's no big deal at all. Okay? So, and that's a good thing to do, by the way. All right. Suit yourself in the quiz and on the test and on the final. So let's try these. A company deposited $20,000 in a savings account on January 1st, 2009 that'll accumulate interest each December 31st. What will be the fund balance as of December 31st, 2013? How much interest will be earned as of December 31st, 2013? What is the thing you need to know here in order to calculate future values or present values? Yeah, I'm doing number 8. What do you need to know in order to calculate present values, future values, interest rate, number of periods, whatever I ask you to do, right? What do you need to know? What are the things you really need, the pieces of information you really need? What is there in this whole thing of calculating the present value of future cash flows or calculating a future value of an investment, either way? What are the things you need to know? Present value, that's it. I might be asking you to calculate the present value, and if I don't ask you to calculate it, I have to give it to you, right? What else? Maybe a future value, and it's a future value some number of periods from now. Okay, we did this last time a little bit. Okay, what else? An interest rate. Okay, it's based on how risky the investment is. Discount rate is interest rate. Okay, what else? Number of periods, which is this N is the same N as that one. Okay, yeah, number of periods. You got to know the number of periods. That's it. And then possibly, if the payments are all equal, no payment skipped, right? Same amount every period. Interest rate doesn't change. We might have a what? Annuity payment. Yes, fixed payment is an annuity payment. And by the way, there are 2 types of annuity payments. There's an ordinary annuity payment and an annuity due payment. The annuity due, the name helps you. Annuity due is what? It's now. It's at the beginning of the period. An annuity due means all the payments are at the beginning of the period. When you take 211, if you're a financial accounting major and you take 211, we're going to mess with annuity due, okay? An ordinary annuity, which I guess is because this is ordinarily when payments are. I don't know why I named that, but it's an ordinary annuity. The payments are at the end of the period, okay? The ones we're going to do in here are ordinary annuity payments. Usually interest payments are at the end of the period, right? Okay? But you can make payments at the beginning of a period too, of course. Okay? You make payments whenever you want it in your business deal. Okay, so we might also have an annuity payment. You don't have to have an annuity payment, okay? On this first problem, what did I give you? What is the $20,000? It's a present value. How do you know it's a present value?
It's how much they deposit.
It's how much they deposit at the beginning. That's it. It's at the beginning, right? Look at the date, okay?
January 1st, 2009, it's at the beginning, so it's a present value. What is any dollar worth right now at any discount rate? No time's going to go by. Or at any compound interest rate. What's it worth now? A dollar. A dollar's a dollar now, right? That's it, guys. That's all there is to it, okay? Dollar's a dollar. Okay, so that 20,000 is worth 20,000 at any discount rate. No problem, huh? Okay, what's the 6% going to be? Obviously. That's the interest rate. Okay? And then it says it's going to accumulate interest at each December 31st, which is 1 year from the January 1st, of course, right? Okay? And they're going to leave it until 2013, so how many years is it going to be there? 2009, all of 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, right? And 2013, how many years is that? 5. Use your hand if you need to, your fingers if you need to, and your toes, huh? All right? Be careful. Why you're kind of, some of you said 4. Why would you say 4? Because you have 2009 and 2013, but remember, we've got to pick up 2009, that's January 1st. What if it was December 31st of 2009? Now it'd be 4 years, okay? So be careful, right? Don't just take 13 less 9. It won't work, will it? Okay? Read carefully and think about it. Okay, fine. All right, so obviously what are we calculating here if we want to know how much will be in the fund at December 31st, 2013? We're calculating a future value. That's it. Okay, here's the deal. Every time you read one of these problems, do that. And you can't miss. Students will say, I can't figure out what you're asking for. What do you mean you can't figure out what I'm asking for? I can't find these numbers. No, they're what they are, okay, every single time. Write them down, get yourself organized, okay? I'm not kidding. This will work every time, guys. And you don't have to set it the way I do, I don't care. If you have some other way that you learned it and you like that, do it, but always do it the same way and have some discipline about this thing, okay? And then do that throughout your career, okay? Get yourself organized, figure out where you're at, where you want to be. It's always going to be how much cash and when, what's the discount rate, the interest rate is a discount rate or a compound interest rate, and what's the number of periods. It's always that. And if there's an annuity payment, it's how big is the payment and how many times do we have the payment. Yeah, right.
I was going to ask, obviously it's going to be periods, going to be years, but can you specify that?
Oh, what if I said that the compound interest semi-annually, what would we have to do with this, you guys? 2 things. If I said semi-annually, what would we have to do? How many periods are there? If I said 5 years and we compound semi-annually, double it. It's 10 periods. What if I say quarterly? Take 4 times it. What if I said monthly? Take 12 times it. Everybody got the idea? Monthly would be 60 periods here. What do you need to do with the interest rate, though? If it's semi-annual, what would you want to do with the interest rate? You sure do that, too. That's a great question. You have to cut it in half. If it's semi-annual, it'd be 3% each period, right? 3% twice a year is 6%. You got the idea? Okay? What if, I'm pretty good at math. Okay, what if it's quarterly? I'll never get this one right. 6% divided by 4 is 1.5, right? What if it was monthly? It's 0.5% a month. Everybody got it? You can do this. By the way, what's more interest? 0.5% per month or 6% a year? Which is more interest? It's not the same. You think it would be, but it's not. You want more compounding. There's interest on the interest. If you compound more often, there's more interest if it's monthly than if it's quarterly, than if it's annual. Right, guys?
You want to do
Well, if I'm borrowing money, right, I'd rather pay compounded annually. If I'm investing money, I'd rather they compounded it as often as possible. I'll make more. I want to make more and I want to pay less. Depends which side of the deal I'm on, right? Sure. Okay. So don't let people extract wealth from you by playing with that one either, right? Okay. So make sure you negotiate what's to your benefit if they will. How do you calculate this? This is really simple, you guys. Take your present value at time 0, which is 20,000, and take it times what? We're compounding. It's going to grow to a future value, you guys, a certain number of periods from now. So what would we do? 1 plus the interest rate raised to the number of periods. We did that last time, didn't we? So what is that going to be in this case? It's 1.06, because this is annual, right? So it's none of that semi-annual or quarterly or whatever, monthly stuff. And what's the number of periods, gang? 5. So you can calculate it if you want with your calculator, 1.06 raised to the 5th. Okay? Or you can tell your calculator the present value is 20,000, the interest rate is 6, if you have a nice one, number of periods is 5, and you want to know, and then you ask it to calculate the future value. Or you can look at the tables. Let's take a look at the tables. On page A1, that's present value, we need future, don't we? So on page A3, I guess, future values are, and I'm looking for 6%. You see the 6% column, everybody? Whoops, that's the annuity. Future value of a sum. Page A2, I apologize. Table A3. Go down to A3, future value of $1, okay? 6% we're doing in 5 periods. So what is the factor that you pick up there? Everybody see it? 1 point what? 1 point, everybody see it? 3382. What does that mean? Actually, what is 1.06 raised to the fifth? It's 1.3382. This is rounded, so decimals keep going, don't they? All right, so this isn't as accurate, by the way. If I was using real money, I wouldn't use this. I'd use a calculator, right, or a computer. Okay. Anyway, what is that? What's worth $1.34? Listen carefully. What's worth $1.34? $1 invested for 5 periods at 6% interest compound will grow to $1.34. That's it. Right? That's it. That's all it is. But I'm not investing $1, I'm investing 20,000. So what will 20,000 grow to if every single one of them grows to $1.34? Take 20,000 times it. 26, 7, 64.51. Okay, if we want to be really accurate. Yeah. Easy, huh? It is. There's nothing to this. Okay? So we just solved for our future value 5 years from now. Everybody good? By the way, what's the present value of 26,764.51 discounted at 6% for 5 periods? What if we went the other direction?
20,000.
It's 20,000, of course. Yeah. It's nothing to this, huh? There's just nothing to it. Practice, practice, practice. Work a bunch of them. Okay, work a bunch of them. Make them up and work them, okay? Make them up with your friends, and you both work them independently and make sure you get the same answers, okay? Do this. This is a really valuable skill. I am always amazed that most people on earth can't do this. And it's how we value everything. How you should make every decision you make economically in your life. Right? And people can't do it. I don't get it. Why not? It's really simple. Okay, so let's do the second one. B. Company B needs to accumulate $50,000 in a fund by making 5 equal annual deposits. What's the $50,000? They want to have $50,000 what? Sometime in the future. It's a future value. I don't know how many periods it is yet, but it's a future value of $50,000. I already know that. Just got started reading. Okay, they're going to make 5 equal payments. What is a 5? It's the number of periods. Okay, that's a future value 5 years from now too. Okay, assuming an interest rate of 7%. What's that? Interest. Yeah, we can do that one. Okay, how much must be deposited at the end of each year? Now, this isn't a present value because it's not one time, right? They're going to make a deposit at the end of each year for 5 years. Okay, what's that? That's an ordinary annuity payment. You don't have to remember ordinary for now, but that's what it is. It's annuity payment. Okay, we only gave you that table anyway. All right, so that's what I want to know. Wow. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deposit 5 times some amount of money. If there was absolutely no interest in the deal at all, how much would you deposit each time to have $50,000 at the end after depositing 5 times? If you were no interest, it'd be $10,000 each, right? You're going to earn interest on this, aren't you? So is that annuity payment going to be more or less than $10,000, seeing as you're going to add interest to it? It's going to be less, right? So that'll get you on the right table. It'll make sure your calculation comes out reasonable. What if you got an answer of $1 million here? You hit the wrong key in your calculator. Come on. Be thinking while you use your calculator. What if you get an answer of $10.12? Yeah, you did something wrong. Come on. Right? They're not going to earn that much interest. It's 7%, 5 years. Come on. Okay? You know what? On the first deposit, how many years interest are you going to get? You're going to make it at the end of the first year, and you're going to leave it to the end of the 5th year. How many years interest do you get on the first payment? No, on the first payment, not the last one. First payment. First one you put in. 4 years. First one's 4 years. You put it in at the end of the first year, stays at the end of the 5th. How about the second one? You put it into the second year and it stays to the end of the fifth. 3 years. Third one, 2 years. Right? Fourth one, 1 year. How about the last one? That's zero, right? No interest on it. The dollar right then, right? What's the future value of the dollar right now? yeah, that's all that is. Okay, so how would we calculate this? All you got to do, you guys, this is the way I set it up. Some of the authors, this author likes to divide. I prefer to multiply. I don't know why. Maybe I learned it that way 100 years ago. What I do is I take the annuity payment, which I don't know yet, by the way, right? This is going to be an ordinary annuity payment. I'm going to take that ordinary annuity payment times a future value of an ordinary annuity factor. I am calculating the future value of this guy, okay? I'm going to the future. If I'm moving to the future, I use a future value factor. If I'm going back to the present from the future, right? Sounds crazy. Time travel, okay? If I go back to the present, then I want a present value factor, okay? So what I'm going to do is get my future value of this thing 5 years from now by going and looking up a factor. What's the interest rate, guys? 7%. What's the number of periods? 5. Okay? So this is the easy way to do it, is to go look up a factor. Or if you have a calculator that does annuities, that'll work. Be sure and tell your calculator the payment is at the end of the period, not the beginning. It'll be a different answer. There's more interest. It's at the beginning in this case, right? Okay? All right, so be a different answer. Be sure and tell there's 5 periods, and then you want to know the future value and all that. Okay? All right? 5 payments. So what we'll do is we'll look at the future value of an annuity. Okay? Take a look on page A3, table A4 this time. 7% column. Let's go down to 5 periods. Okay? What's the factor we pick up? Everybody find it? 7%, 5 periods. What's the factor? Page A3. Yeah, you want to get these out and look at them, you guys. What's worth $5.75? What's that worth, guys? What is that? What's that $5.75? What's worth $5.75? I invest $1 at the end of each year, each period, for 5 periods. And that $5, I'm going to add interest, right? So the first payment, I'm going to add interest for 4 years. Second payment, I'm going to add interest for 3. Got the idea? Right? Each one I'm going to be adding interest. And then I'm going to add them all up. And how much am I going to have? $5.75. How much interest will I earn? 75 cents. Everybody got it? That's what $5 is worth. Okay? Everybody good? That's what this is. It'll grow to $5.75. Okay? By the way, what if I picked up a factor and it was less than 5 here? What would I know? You're on a present value table, right? It's got to be more than 5. It's what $5 is going to grow to, right? It's compounding. Okay, anyway, what we could do instead of that is we could calculate value for 1 period, the value for 2 periods, the value for 3 periods, 4, 5, right? We could do that instead and add them all up. That's a waste of time. What if it's 240 periods? Would you rather use an annuity table or an annuity function in the computer or the calculator, or would you rather do each one independently and add up 240? So don't go there. Don't start doing that stuff, okay? Use these factors. All right. What was the future value we wanted to have, you guys? $50,000. Can anybody tell me what the payment must be? Well, sure. Divide 5.75 into 50,000. You find out what your deposit has to be each time, right? What your investment has to be per year. How much is that? 5.7507 into 50,000. That's it. There's the answer. This is going to be an easy quiz. Practice somehow. So, by the way, we're not saying $8,695.65 becomes $50,000, are we? What are we saying? There's 5 payments, you guys. Come on. Always keep track of reality here, right? What's 8,695.65 times 5? That's how much you're going to deposit. How much is that?
A little less than 50,000.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, because there's interest we're going to earn. How much is that? Is that it? 43,732.97. How much interest will you earn? How about 50,000 less 43,733? Everybody agree? That's how much interest you would earn if you guys did the math right. Okay? about $6,300 almost. Is that math right? 472. Oh, 472. I do a transposition there? Probably. Okay. 472? Sound better? Okay. All right. No, you don't like that either. 8695.65 times 5.
43470.
That's what I got, 43,478.25.
You guys are scary. Actually, if you used your calculator to calculate it and you had a different number and you took it times 5, you get a slightly different answer. Yes, ma'am.
I had the same thing as her because I had like $1 less on the.
Yeah, that would be, if you use the table, you get a different answer than if you use the calculator. And by the way, the calculator's right and the table's wrong, but it's close enough for our purposes here. Okay? So, all righty? Everybody got the idea, though, of this thing? It's not a big thing, is it? Okay? Keep thinking while you're doing the problems, okay? Keep thinking. What's a reasonable answer? Is that a reasonable answer? Sure it is. Okay? All right. If I got $1 million there, I'd probably say that's probably not right. Okay, anyway. Let's try another one. C. Company C has a new machine. It's got an estimated life of 5 years and a 5,000 residual. That's what they're going to sell it for at the end. Does everybody agree with that? Yeah. Assuming an 8% interest rate, what is the present value of the estimated residual value? Just the residual? Gee, thanks. That's great. Okay. Tell me. Present value, future value, number of periods. Look at this. And then interest rate. And there's no payment, so I don't have to worry about the annuity payment. There is no payment. Which pieces do I have? Tell me what I've got here, you guys. Come on. Interest is 8. What else do I know? N is 5. It's a future value 5 years from now, isn't it? That's when I'm going to sell it. That's its residual. Yeah. The future value is 5,000. And what does it want to know? What's its present value? It even says it. But, you know, what's it worth now? Okay, we could have said. How do you calculate this one?
We'll do the future value times 1 over 1.08.
Yeah. Times 1 over 1 plus the interest rate, because I'm dividing it in, right? I'm dividing in over and over and over. 1 plus the interest rate divided into it over and over and over. That's what that is, right? To the number of periods, which is, wrote 5, didn't I? Oh, well, yeah. To the number of periods, equals the present value at time 0. Sure. So this is times 1 over 1.08, is it? Raised to the 5th, or we could just go look up the factor, and we could calculate that present value, couldn't we? Okay, which table are you on now, guys? I'm calculating a present value. I know the future. I want to calculate the present. What am I going to use? Present value factor. Got it? So keep you on the right table. So you look at a present value of a sum, that's table A1, okay? On page A1. And what interest rate did we say? 8%. We go to the 8% column, we go down to 5 periods, and what factor do you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0.68, is that it? Everybody see it? Does it make sense to be less than 1? Sure, I'm taking interest out. So what's worth 68 cents? Oh, by the way, what if you put in your calculator 1 over 1.08 and raised to the 5th? What would you get? 68 cents, right? Same thing. Okay, now, what's worth 68 cents? $1 received, how many years from now? 5 years from now, discounted at 8% is worth 68 cents. You know how I know that's true? If you invest 68 cents at compound interest, 8% for 5 periods, it will grow to exactly how much? $1. How much interest will you have earned? 32 cents. Everybody got it? Are you getting this intuitively? You need it intuitively. This is the way you think, right? $1 now is not the same thing as $1 10 years from now. It's just not. And you know what? If he owed me $1 10 years from now, and you owe me $1 10 years from now, probably those aren't of the same value. You might have parents who are worth $10 million, and you might have parents who have nothing. Right? 10 years from now, which one's riskier getting paid? If he's poor and you're rich. It's true. So what kind of an interest rate am I going to give you if your parents will co-sign the loan and they have $10 million? Almost nothing. Your parents have nothing and you have nothing, right? What's your interest rate going to look like? Huge. How come? Risk. Risk of not getting paid. It doesn't mean you're a good person, he's a bad person. Just you're wealthy or not. Okay? Or you have a lot of earning capacity or not. Right? Sure. Okay? How risky is it? Or it might be track record. Maybe you don't pay your bills if he does. Right? You have equal wealth, but he's got a good track record right back. I'm a little picking on you today, huh? It's terrible. Okay. All right. None of that's true. Okay. I have no knowledge. Anyway, how would you find out what the present value is then? If each one of those dollars is worth 68 cents and there are 5,000 of them, take the 5,000 times the 68 cents. Everybody got it? You've been doing this, haven't you? Have you just been doing it automatically using a calculator, working problems in a math class and not knowing what the hell you're doing? Like I did when I learned this stuff, right? Make it instead be, this just is common sense. And it'll be easy. No matter how complex we make the cash flows, no matter how complex we make the interest rates or whatever, it doesn't matter. How big they are doesn't matter. Once you understand, you got to make it, okay? And you're going to use this in class after class after class after class. Everybody sitting here, business majors of any kind, right? You are going to take it's finance now. Finance 315. In there, they're going to assume you already know this. And you show up. And that you're really good at it. And you're going to be competing with a whole bunch of accounting and finance majors in there. It's ugly, okay? So if you got accounting majors that have already, or finance majors that have already done 211, accounting 211, we're going to do this just over and over and over 100 different ways. Learn this, you guys. You really want to know it. So what's 5,000 times 0.6806 for your career and also for that finance class? 3,400 what? Okay. How much interest will you have earned if you invest 3,403 and it goes up to 5,000 in value? If that was the investment, yeah, the difference. So you can calculate that too, huh? Okay, so that's all that's worth right now. Even though it's 5,000 received later, that's all it's worth right now. Yeah.
How much is how, we're all getting kind of that, so you're just going to have a certain.
Oh, get within $1. You're good enough. It'll be within $1. Oh, use the whole factor. Yeah, or leave it in your calculator and you'll be even more accurate. Right? Yeah. And then just give me pennies. It's good. Yeah, don't go any beyond pennies. Don't bother with that. Okay, it wasn't really 3,403, was it?
3,402.
Yeah, that's probably a better answer, but I'd take it 3 too. Okay, that's a good question. Fair question. Okay, what else we got? It says company owes $50,000 in debt that is now due. Arrangements have been made to pay it off in 5 equal installments starting December 31st, 2011, which is 1 year from now, right? That makes it an ordinary annuity. It's the end of the year. So these are going to be payments. So, all right, then assume 8% interest. How much will be the annual payment? So let's do that first. What do you think? What do we want to know? Present value? Do we want to know a future value? Some number of periods from now? Number of periods? What do we got, guys? Interest rate? Annuity payment. We know it's an annuity payment, don't we? So we got that. By the way, you could calculate either present value or future value when you have an annuity payment. Or you could calculate both. Doesn't matter. Right? Future payments have a present value and future payments have a future value. That makes sense? Okay, so you got to look at what's being asked. All right, it's $50,000 that is due now. What's that? That's a present value. It's now. Okay, everybody good? That one's $50,000. So there we are. All right. Arrangements have been made to pay it off in 5 equal installments. What's that? That's the number of periods. 5. Okay. And then it wants to know how much will be the annual payment. Oh, 8% interest. Yeah, there we go. They want to know the annual payment. We don't have to worry about future value in this problem, right? It's not asking for it. Okay? So how would you do this one? This time, I don't have a future value. I have a present value of $50,000. That's how it's different than the first one, huh? Okay? And I have an annuity payment, and it's an ordinary annuity, right? Into the period. Again, you don't have to worry about the annuity due yet. I'm wanting to calculate that, aren't I? Okay? And what's this going to be? This time it is going to be a present value of an ordinary annuity factor, okay? Interest rate, gang? 8%. See how nice it is to be organized? Number of periods? 5. Now, what do we want to do? Go to the present value of an ordinary annuity table. That's it. So let's take a look at the present value of an ordinary annuity. That's at the bottom of page A1. Everybody see it? Present value of an annuity of $1. Okay, that's it. Okay, it's $1 at the end of each period, what it's worth right now. Interest rate, 8%. Go over to the 8% column. How many periods? 5. This is going to be 5 payments, right, guys? What's the factor? What's worth $3.99? $5 received at the end of each period, right? For 5 periods, out 5 years into the future, right? 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Everybody got it? This is too easy to believe, isn't it? Okay? That's worth $3.99. Okay? So what is your payment got to be? Divide 3.9927 into 50,000, you got to pay. How much is that? 86 or something? Okay. So 12, 5, 22, 85 or 86, whatever you have. Okay, how many payments are there going to be, guys? That's the answer. But how many payments are there going to be? 5. So what's 12,522.86 times 5? Take a look at the present value of an annuity table on page A1 and go to 8% column and go down to 5 periods. Did I pick up the right factor, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The answer is 12, or is it after you multiply by 5?
No, the answer is 12. I'm getting the total payments, just so you see what's really going on. I'm not saying $12,500 is worth $50,000. No. What are we saying? 12,000 times 5. So what's 12,522.86 times 5? Or 85 times 5, whatever it was. Okay. We're giving them $62,614 to pay off a $50,000 debt. Everybody agree? That's what we're doing. What's that $12,614 for? What's it called? Interest. Yeah, it's the interest you're paying. That's it. Everybody good? This is not hard, is it? Yeah.
Just like the one we did before, 18, it's the exact same thing, you either can use the present value or future value.
You got it, you got it. But the one B, the second one that we did, that one I had a future value over here and an annuity payment. Yeah. It's the same idea though. You calculate it the same way, just get on the right table. Right? Do I know the future or do I know the present? That you got it. Yes.
So will we be able to use these tables on the quiz?
Yes, you can use the table, you can use your calculator, no problem. Okay? Same on the test, same on the final. Okay? Whatever your preference is. And again, if you have a calculator and you've been using it a lot to do this, fine, I don't care. But if it's the first time you've ever done it, I think I'd use the tables. Those calculators will, they'll get you until you really know how to use it, that's all. Okay? If you want to bring in your computer and use Excel, I don't care. That'd be fine. It's real easy. So, nothing to it. All right, let's see. So assuming 8% interest, that'll be the payment. And then it says, give the entry for the first payment. Oh my, assume no adjusting entries. So Keith went crazy on you. All right, let's record the debt in the first place here, this $50,000, okay? How would we record this debt in the first place? Debit what? Let's say we borrowed the money. Let's borrow the money on January 1st. Isn't that when it was? No, December 31st. I'm still lying. It's due January 1st, 2011. It's going to be paid off in 5. Okay, it's due now, but we're going to pay it off in installments starting December 31st, 2011. So on January 1st, 2011, let's record this thing. We owe $5,000, but it's not a note payable yet, obviously. It's just payable. What would we do? We probably have an account payable. Satisfy it by, we'll either debit cash if they give you the cash, or debit what if we owe them an open account payable. I'm not account receivable. If I owed them on accounts payable, what, there's a credit balance, how would I get rid of it? Debit accounts payable. So if I owe them on an open account payable, I'd get rid of the account payable, debit, and what would I credit, gang? It's now a note payable, signed a note for it. If they gave me the cash right now, it'd be debit cash and credit notes payable, right?
And it's 50,000.
Oh, it's not 5,000, that would be better. Okay, thank you. So we got 50,000 recorded. In any event, we got a note payable of 50,000. What's our interest rate? 8%. And it's 8% a year in there. Everybody agree? That's what we have for interest. Okay, so the first payment is at December 31st, 2011. Ah, can you guys tell me what the entry would be for that? That's what I asked for. What is the entry? It says 2009, but that can't be. It's got to be 2011. It's the first payment. Okay, it's a typo. So 2011. What do you think? Debit the note payable because I'm paying off part of the note payable. That's true. I don't know how much yet. What am I going to credit? I'm making payments, and I know how big the payment is. It's $12,522, right? We'll say it's $12,523. Cash, excellent. Ah. How much of the note did I pay off? And what's the rest of it? Well, not interest payable because they didn't accrue it, but that's on the right track. Interest what? Interest expense, yeah. They said they didn't accrue it, right? Or I said I didn't accrue it. This is a tough one. This part's tough. The rest of it, this problem was easy, but this gets hard. Interest expense, I need to know how much it is. That's the debit, huh? How much? It's 50,000 times 8% for the first year, isn't it? That's $4,000. Everybody agree? The first year is $4,000. Okay? Interest expense is $4,000. How much of the debt did you just pay off?
8,523.
You got it. $8,523. We are amortizing the debt. It is going away as I make payments, right? Part of the payment is interest and part of the payment is debt. This is how your car loan works, guys. When you buy a house, your house loan's going to work, right? You make a payment, whatever it is, they compute the interest, and that's the interest, and the rest goes against your principal, huh? Okay? Reduces how much you owe. All right, let's do the second payment. That's what was required. This would have been the answer, okay? And that's, a few people get it right. You guys practice a little bit, you'll get there. Let's do the next one. Let's do 2012. That one's even harder. What do you need to do? What do you need to know? Well, I'm going to debit notes payable again. Everybody going to agree with that one? Because part of it's going to be paying off the note payable. I'm going to debit interest expense again. Everybody agree with that? Because some of it's interest expense, and I'm going to credit cash. I do know one of these pretty easily. Which one? The cash, because the payment is always $12,523, isn't it? What do I need to know in order to know how much is reducing the note payable? What interest expense is? What's interest expense going to be? It's still 8%, but 8% of what, you guys? Ah.
1,000 times 8,523.
You got it. The note payable started out at 50,000, didn't it? And then how much did we pay off? 8,523. This is going to be really useful in the next chapter when we do bonds. Okay, really useful. Okay, so, and it's what we do, right? We borrow money, lend money. Okay, what's the balance in notes payable now? Guess what the interest is the second period? Yeah, that's how much you owe them. It's 8% of it, right? What is it? 3,319 maybe. Okay, is that what he said? All right, rounds to that. Okay. In real life, of course, we use pennies. All right, got it? How much is the reduction of notes payable this time? 9,204. And we just do it again, right? Debit the notes payable, reducing it, and do it again. After we do this 5 times, we think the balance would be in notes payable. 0. What would the balance be? Well, how much would interest expense have been in total over the 5 years? What will it be? After the whole 5 years, if you added all 5 years together, what will the total interest expense be? I borrowed 50,000, I'm paying them back 62,614. What will the interest expense be? 12,614. Yes. You guys can figure this out, can't you? You can. It hurts your brain, but you can figure it out. You can do this, okay? And do you think, are we starting to get to some things that might actually be of a little value? Yeah. You know, I didn't just want you to know left from right when we got done, okay? I want you to be good business people. I don't mean the day after you get out of this class. But when you graduate, I want you to be trainable, right? I want you to be trainable. Nobody's going to expect you to know anything, but I want you to be real trainable when you get there. You learn fast, okay? You can figure things out, and you can remember some stuff you did before. Go look it up, find it. Okay, anyway, so in the review, if you can't make it for the review, oh man, you want to watch this one, okay? You want to watch this one and listen to this one if you can't make it, okay? You really do. And we'll work a bunch of these. Yeah, I'll get home tonight about 7:30 or 8, and I'll try to get it done tonight. Yeah. See you guys. Go to the Partners Day. It's important. You're doing it all well in here, like a C+ or above, you ought to be going. That's a good rating here so far.
By the way, my mom and I were we were wondering if that expense is actually
I think the amount might be wrong. Let me kill this thing. Can I leave it running? Yeah, just check.